Hello children, we have completed with chapter 1, we have completed with chapter 2. Now let's begin with a new chapter, chapter 3, that is human reproduction. Now we all know that human are the organisms which are viviparous. Now when I say viviparous means what? The organisms which gives rise to its young ones, right? Meaning which gives birth to its young ones are known as viviparous. Now you can also state it as humans are unisexual as well. How? On the basis of the male and the female structures are separate. Now when you talk about the reproductive ducts, the reproductive organs or the gonads that you can say, and the accessory structures, these are all separate in a male and a female. Right. Now the reproductive events in human include what and all things: gametogenesis, then insemination, then fertilization, then implantation, embryonic development, parturition. Now all these 6 important events that takes place, that is after puberty only in one's life, right? After puberty, these all stages come into the event of reproduction. Now when I talk about the reproductive system as a topic, reproductive system, in the reproductive system there are primary sex characters and there are secondary sex characters. Now when I talk about the primary sex characters, these are the characters which are from the birth itself to a male and the female, given from the birth itself, that is external genitalia that you can say. And the secondary are the one that occurs or attains after the puberty to a male and a female. Now what explanation can I give for the primary sex characters? Now these are the ones that produce what? Gametes. These are the ones that produce sex hormones. Well, the secondary, they do not produce gametes or sex hormones. What do? They help in they play an important role in the reproduction, right? Now primary sex characters, if I have to take an example, you can take an example of thick hairs and the low pitched voice of the boys that you can say. And for the girls, if you have to say enlargement of their mammary glands, and then high pitched voice, these are all the primary sexual characters in a female. Right, so this was about the basic characteristic that has been given to the male and a female separately. Okay, so you can also state it as sexual dimorphism here, right? So let's talk about the first one, that is male reproductive system. Now the reproductive system is located in the pelvis region. Now there are different parts associated. The first one is the primary sex organ. We are talking about the male reproductive system. Okay, primary sex organ of the male reproductive system. The testes, which is the primary sex organ of the male reproductive system, is located outside the abdominal cavity. Okay, it produces the gonads, male gametes, that is the sperm. Okay, now each testes has a scrotum, a pouch-like structure which is known as a scrotum, which holds the testes. Now each testes is about 4 to 5 centimeter in length and 2 to 3 centimeter in width that you can see. The outermost covering of the testes has a fibrous membrane which is known as tunica albuginea. Each testes is divided in 200 to 300 compartments, okay, which is known as testicular lobules. Now these have, each lobules have 1 to 3 coiled or convoluted tubules, which is known as seminiferous tubules, which is embedded with in a loose connective tissue. Now when I talk about the scrotum, it is a pouch-like structure of pigmented skin arising from the lower abdominal wall and hanging between the legs. Okay, scrotum keeps the temperature of the testes about say 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius lower than the internal body temperature, which is essential for the production of the sperm. Without this temperature, the sperm wouldn't be produced. That is spermatogenesis that you can say, formation of the sperm. It is divided internally into right and left scrotal sacs by a muscular partition called septum. Strota. Now the word septum means what? Partition, and that is the reason now when I say partition, there are many different partitions in our body. We have a nasal septum as well, but we term it as nasal septum. Here we say it as septum strota because it is in the scrotum. Testes originates in the abdominal cavity, but later during the 7th month of development descend into the respective scrotal sacs through the passages called inguinal canals. What is it known as? Inguinal canals. That is INGUINAL. Inguinal canals. Okay, now when I talk about the seminiferous tubule, it is the structural and functional unit of testes in which sperms are produced. Okay, as we have already covered the explanation in testes when we were saying that each lobule, that is testicular lobule, contains now as we have covered in testes explanation, each lobule has 1 to 3 convoluted tubules, which is known as seminiferous tubule, right? So it is a structural and the functional unit of testes in which the sperms are produced. Each seminiferous tubule is lined on its inside by 2 types of highly specialized cells. What are these? One is Sertoli cells and second is male germ cell. Now Sertoli cells are also known as nurse cells, while male germ cells are also known as spermatogonia. Okay, now the majority of the cells are male germ cells which produce what? Spermatogonia. By what division? Mitotic division, which further grow into primary spermatocytes. Now these undergo meiosis producing haploid cells, that is secondary spermatocytes and then spermatids. The Sertoli cells are tall cells which provide what? Nourishment or nutrition to the developing cells, that is the germ cells. What does it do? It provides nutrition to the developing germ cells. The region outside the seminiferous tubules are known as interstitial cells, contain what? The blood vessels, and the masses of the cells called interstitial cells or the Leydig cells, that you can say. What is it? Leydig cells. These cells synthesize and secrete the testicular hormones, which is known as androgen. Now the Leydig cells, Leydig spelling Leydig, Leydig cells are endocrine in function and thus regulate and maintain male sex characteristic. Other immunologically competent cells are also present in this region. Okay, so what is the main function of the Leydig cell? It regulates and maintains the male sex characteristic. So this was about the primary sex organ. Now let's move to the secondary sex organ. That is, what does it consist of? The secondary sex organ consists of the accessory duct system. Okay, accessory glands and external genitalia, that you can say. Now when I talk about the accessory duct system, these ducts store and transport the sperm from the testes to the outside through urethra. Okay, I repeat, these ducts store and transport the sperm from the testes to outside through urethra. The male accessory ducts include what and all things? That is tubuli recti, that is second retitestes, third vasa efferentia, fourth epididymis, next vas deferens and urethra. Okay, the end of the seminiferous tubule converge and join form short straight tubules called tubuli recti. Now the tubuli recti opens into a network of wider irregular tubules called retitestes. Okay, what is it known as? Retitestes, that further open into fine structure, that is vasa efferentia, that is a ciliated structure, you can say. Several vasa efferentia open into epididymis and carry sperm outside the body. Now what does this epididymis look like? It is a kind of long tube which is coiled and tightly packed to form an elongated flattened body. It is located along the posterior surface of each testis. Now the sperm undergo maturation, curing what? The increased motility and the fertility capacity in epididymis. After that they pass down to the tail of epididymis, where they stay for a short period of time before entering into the vasa deferens. Okay, now the vasa deferens ascends to the abdomen and loops over urinary bladder. It receives a duct from seminal vesicle to form ejaculatory duct. Now the duct passes through the prostate gland and opens into the urethra. Okay, the urethra which is there, it originates from the urinary bladder and extends through the penis or the penis, that you can say, to its external opening called urethral meatus. The urethra carries urine, we all know that, from bladder, yes, as well as why bladder is the storage of the urine, the reservoir of the urine, as well as spermatozoa and secretion from the corpus and the prostate glands. Fine, this was about the accessory duct system. When I talk about the accessory glands you can also say it, the other term it as secondary glands. Prostate gland, seminal vesicle, and the third one is the corpus gland. Okay, now the corpus gland you can also say it as barbourethral gland. Now when I talk about the prostate gland, It secretes a milky, slightly alkaline fluid that contains lipids, enzymes, citric acid, etc. It is released during ejaculation and helps to neutralize the acidic medium of vagina, making sperm more active to swim. Okay. Now, seminal vesicle, they secrete mucus and a watery alkaline fluid that contains fructose, which acts as an energy source for the sperm. Why fructose? Because it gives energy to the sperm. Now, prostaglandins, which are there, which stimulate the uterine contraction for sperm movement, and a clotting protein forms a temporary clot after ejaculation. Now, the calcium and certain other enzymes are also part of seminal plasma. Now, put a note here that fructose produced by the seminal vesicle is not present elsewhere in the body. Therefore, during forensic test for rape, its presence in female's genital tract confirms sexual intercourse. Okay, I repeat, fructose is not produced in any other part of the body. It is only produced by the seminal vesicle. So, therefore, whenever you have a forensic test, say for example, for a rape, the presence of female's genital tract confirms sexual intercourse. Its presence in the female genital tract that confirms the intercourse which has been done. Okay, the third one, accessory gland, is the barbourethral or the corpus gland, that you can say. These secrete mucus and an alkaline fluid into the urethra. The mucus helps in the lubrication of penis or the penis and neutralizes urinary acids if present in the urethra. These are situated beneath the bladder and behind the urethra. So this was about the accessory glands. Let's talk about the external genitalia. Penis is the external copulatory organ in male. Now when I say copulation, coitus, intercourse, these are all the terms which are related to the sexual intercourse, or you can say the fusion of the male and the female during reproduction, during the process. Okay. So near the tip of the penis, the spongy tissue or the corpus spongium is enlarged to form a soft and highly sensitive glans penis covered with the foreskin, okay, or which is also known as prepuce. It has erectile tissues and vascular spaces. Now these vascular spaces tend to fill up with blood when the male is sexually excited, like causing penis to erect. Okay, so this is all about the secondary sex organs. So secondary sex organ that consists of the accessory duct, the accessory gland and the external genitalia, and we also studied about the primary sex organ, that was the testes, and this all the male reproductive system has been covered in this video. So kindly go through it depending on the diagram which has been given to you in the video lecture. So thank you. Have a nice day.